Welcome back to the Lovin Dubai show, where we go through the top trending stories that everyone across the country is talking about on this beautiful Monday morning. What a weekend. The city is buzzing. We had Boys to Men. We had RG Singe Bread in Abu Dhabi making its own noise. We had rumours of a tiger spotted in Sharjah, which were quelled by Sharjah authorities. Talks of heavy rain later this week. Our top stories for you today are:
His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid announces 128 billion dirhams expansion of Al Maktoum Airport.
The airport traveller arrested for 4.3 kgs of marijuana at Dubai Airport.
And this is why there were dead fish in the Business Bay Canal.
We're talking about the comments made by Damak CEO, who said the Dubai floods were exaggerated.
As well, later on the show, we have Ravi Mingani that talks about unstoppable footwear, conquering every terrain in the UAE.
It's a beautiful, bright and sunny morning with highs of 31 today in Dubai. However, we have an unstable week of weather ahead, with a slight decrease in temperatures later on in the week and rainfall of various intensities expected on Wednesday night and Thursday morning. We're a little bit late today. We had some tech issues. We're super excited for all of our stories today, so we're going to jump right in.
So, Al Maktoum Airport has a 128 billion dirhams expansion that has been approved. As mentioned, His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum announced the construction of new passenger terminals at Al Maktoum International Airport, costing 128 billion dirhams. Al Maktoum International Airport will be 5 times the current Dubai International Airport and will have the world's largest capacity. That's going to be up to 260 million passengers.
Wow, a true game-changing piece of news. So all operations of DXB will eventually be transferred to Al Maktoum International Airport. This will happen within 10 years, and this includes Emirates.
In a post on his official social media channels, Sheikh Mohammed wrote, "Today we approved the designs for the new passenger terminals at Al Maktoum International Airport and commencing construction of the building that costs 128 billion dirhams as part of Dubai Aviation corporate strategy." Travel, of course, travel
wow.
is amazing. It's like, as if we are not getting lost in Dubai Airport. This is going to be coming in and we are going to be getting lost even more. And a lot of people, by the way, have been saying that, via the comments. Everyone's like, oh my God, as if we are not getting lost enough via the Dubai, in the Dubai airport. There is the Al Maktoum Airport that's going to be happening that is way larger, and we are for sure going to be getting lost.
But isn't it just phenomenal in terms of the growth expected in the city? We're already the busiest international airport in the world for passenger travel, and now they're like, okay, we're just going to make it 5 times bigger. It's already there, the structure's there, but at a tune of 128 billion dirham. What that means for property in the UAE and where we'll go from there. Now the city's going to move, veer towards airports, right?
Yeah.
So a property in Expo is looking pretty great right now, I would say.
I agree. And as well, we have seen a lot of people are actually moving to the UAE, and a lot of businesses are opening in the UAE, and the population is increasing in the UAE. So I would say maybe that makes sense, the fact that they are moving from the DXB airport that we know that is in Garhoud to Al Maktoum, which is going to be near Expo and so on. So I think honestly, for everyone who invested in a house in Expo is quite smart.
However, rules will stay the same, which brings us on to our next story.
So, traveler arrested with 4.35 kilograms of marijuana at Dubai airport. A traveler had ingeniously hidden 4.35 kilograms of marijuana inside car air filters that were stashed in a secret compartment of her luggage, of the bag, of course, along with the illegal substances that were confiscated, and the woman was handed over to the Dubai Police General Directorate for the Narcotics Control for legal action.
Not that ingenious if she was caught, we must say. Dubai Customs shared an image on social media showing the narcotics concealed within car air filters, indicating an effort to evade detection. The accompanying caption detailed how officers uncovered the traveller's attempt to smuggle 4.25 kgs of the illicit substance meticulously hidden within the vehicle's engine filter.
In a follow-up post, Dubai Customs wrote, the bag was subjected to a careful inspection after it was suspected, and it was revealed that there was a density inside it, which, of course, necessitated a careful examination, which revealed the presence of the narcotic herb.
Which we know the UAE has an absolute zero tolerance, and it's really interesting to see the comments, because some things that are illegal, people, in other countries, people partake in, right? And there's kind of like a blurred line, and even things happen. But it's just really interesting to know that in a country where there's an absolute zero tolerance, the people like it. And the comments are just saying, we actually don't want your drugs here. Don't bring them to the country. We don't want that type of culture here. So people are so thankful to the police for their intense operations on that.
As well, I've heard, I've read a comment that says, you know what, keep it in your country, let Dubai be Dubai, and that's why Dubai is very safe. And by the way, of course, this is what makes Dubai Dubai, right? And I agree, by the way, with all of the comments. Like you come here, and the fact that there are no drugs around, around you, it's not normalized here in the country. Yes, it might be, I would say, a lot of countries normalize it. But that's what makes Dubai Dubai. And
it's legalized in some countries, and you've seen the effects of how this could have, example, an effect on, weed, for example, has such an effect on people in terms of schizophrenia. And you see that, it's only because I was in San Francisco recently where it is legalized, and you'll see the effect that it has on people. And it would really make you question, something that you think is something that's not as powerful, but it actually has an immediate effect on people. So as you said, I'm also thankful that the government have a strict zero tolerance on it.
As well, and you know what, honestly, what phases me till this point and this day is that some people think that they're going to get away with it, but they often do forget that they are actually in Dubai, and nothing that is done illegally is gonna be gone. Everything that you guys do, whether even the smallest, tiniest things that they do, for sure you guys will get caught. And I mean, have you seen at this point, the Dubai police are aware? And one thing that comments that I've read is they are so glad that Dubai sticks to its morals. Yes, it has expanded to a lot of things, but Dubai, regarding the drug, I would say, topic, Dubai has really, stuck to its morals.
The standards have remained the same. I 100% agree. Speaking of standards and clearing something from the public, this is why there were dead fish in the Business Bay Canal. So we all saw the videos of the dead fish. They've been all over social media in the last few days. People were speculating, was it due to the floods? Maybe, for example, there was trash in the water and that led to it. However, Dubai municipality have addressed the concern, stating that weather changes and rising sea surface temperatures are the cause.
Which is what we've talked about last week. And it honestly, it amazes me at this point because, a lot of the, we do tend to, let's say, judge and not understand that, because of we go oh yeah, it's because of the dirt of the water, all of these things. Yes, of course, you have to keep, our earth clean so we can live longer. But of course, because of the weather changes and climate change as well, it actually plays a huge role.
So there's something that we discussed that we saw in the media last week called the El Nino, and it's a weather condition that actually leads to temperature in the sea rising, and then it can be amplified by climate change, but it is something that happens in this region, so it's actually not unheard of. But what the authorities are doing is that they're clearing the area. I just feel bad for the poor fishies, Dubai municipality, they actually tweeted the story. They said they confirmed that the fish deaths seen in some water channels in Dubai are a normal natural phenomenon due to weather changes and rising sea surface temperatures. Specialized teams are managing the situation by removing the dead fish.
Of course, because like again, like and that you've just mentioned, it releases more heat into the atmosphere, and of course, with the heat that is like in Dubai, it is, I would say, maybe. I have no idea what to say. But yeah, I think it's just like, the El Nino is there to blame.
Well, it's Dubai municipality say it's a natural phenomenon that happens due to weather changes. So, although I think when we see it, it's quite shocking to see all the fishies. But let's hopefully, I don't know. I just feel bad for the fishies. It's got nothing to do with the floods, which is basically what I think people are realizing. Jumping into our next story, 8:52. Speaking of the floods, Damac CEO has said the Dubai floods were exaggerated. Hussein Sazrani, Damac Properties chairman, said the floods in the UAE were exaggerated after the UAE was hit with a storm with a year's worth of rain in a day. He said he was speaking to CNBC News. He said, fine, we get some in some malls, some damage, but if the mall is 3 million square foot and if 100-meter leakage or whatever happens, it's not the end of the world, and it was fixed the next day. He acknowledged that there were pockets of problems. I'm not saying no, it didn't happen, but it was overly exaggerated. And in a country like Miami, you actually see these things quite regularly.
And as well, of course, that's today with the environment changing. Of course, you guys, we understand that. And we have seen, by the way, something that everyone goes like, oh my, everyone was like, oh my God, Dubai did not pick up. There's still this area that is flooded. There's still that, and still everywhere, everywhere in the world, you're getting those kind of storms, which is understandable, okay, and Dubai has been hit with that, but they actually managed it very well. And he as well continued by adding that, the preparation was done in advance. In advance. He said the other thing is 2 days before the storm came, because the warning was there. Of course, I had a Zoom call from London with our management, and we agreed to put an action plan, and we took a very good action plan, so we are ready for it, which was the case. A lot of people did actually go like, this area is still flooded, this area is still that, this area, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, but in 3 days, a lot of the roads, or let me say the major roads, were actually open, and they were actually, available to people. Maybe some community areas were not, like my area and like some other areas, but they were open, and they were applauded. And a lot of, and mind you guys, it was the biggest storm to ever come. We made it to New York Times.
Yeah, true. Every single international title covered it because the images were so impactful, and when you say there's rain in a storm in a desert, it's going to make headlines. But he said we had zero impact. I mean, zero impact. I'm telling you, 98% of our units, maybe more, were intact. That's from the Damac CEO. I think on one side he's right, because a video of a mall went viral when you saw one store being flushed through. So his point is like, okay, fine, that happened. We fixed it in a day. Did it happen elsewhere in the mall? Like if the whole mall was completely ruined. But his point is these videos went viral, and it went across the world because it's a great story. But how much was the impact? So on a grand scale, we cleaned it within a week. But I think the people who would disagree with him are the people's homes in certain communities where the water level rose in your living room, and the water level in your car outside your home rose. So I think there's two sides to the story. Yes, the city handled it amazingly and were able to bounce back, but on a people side, if your home is flooded, you can't see the bigger picture here. You're looking at your living room and it's still flooded, and the bottoms of your couch are ruined, and there's that side to it too that maybe he doesn't see.
It is actually understandable, but you know what, Casey, is that I feel like as people, because we're human, right? It's very hard to avoid looking at the positive aspect of anything, specifically when something bad happens. It's very hard to be like, fine, you know what, this happened, but this and that happened as well. For example, like, yes, the floods happened. Yes, the storm happened. But UAE bounced back in 3 days. But there are insurance that covered cars and houses and so on and on. You know what I mean? I understand like the thing like, oh my God, this is happening, but it's not happening to you. It's happening collectively to everyone around, and it's like the UAE bounced back in 3 days. So why don't we talk about that?
Yeah, so true. I think, I still look at the people, but I think what the UAE has put in place in terms of the insurance, as you said, has been a great deed. And you're so right. Why are those headlines not making international news.
Yeah.
Like yes, Dubai flooded, but if you have comprehensive insurance, the country is covering it. Like,
yeah.
The country, like that doesn't happen anywhere, and it's not just for citizens, it's for residents too. So
exactly.
I agree. Where is that in the New York Times headline? Guys, it's 8:57, which means it's time for our next guest. We're talking soul, comfort, and everything with Keen Footwear. He'll be with us after this very short break. Welcome back to the Lovin Dubai show. Instagram, thank you for staying tuned. Today's guest is Ravi Mangani, a dynamic entrepreneur and investor with a passion for footwear and sports with 14 years of experience in strategy and business development. He's playing a crucial role in shaping successful projects in the retail and licensing industries. Welcome, Ravi, to the show. Thank you for being here on Monday morning.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having us here. It's been a pleasure to talk about what we've been doing, and of course to let the audience know about Keen Footwear.
Cool.
That's the new brand that we kind of onboarded. So yeah, thank you very much for having us here.
Awesome.
Well, thank you for being here. My first question, if you can just tell me and Casey and the audience about Keen Footwear and what excites you about the brand.
It's a brand out of Portland, Oregon. For them to understand, it's the same town where Nike was incepted. So it comes from the US, built by guys who are really like outdoor enthusiasts. So one of the first sandals that they actually, or footwear that actually took off was something they called Newport, which was named by the consumer as the ugly sandal. So the brand basically talks a lot about functionality over fashion. And the sandal that I was just talking about they want to make a sandal that has toe support. Because usually you have outdoor sandals and you constantly hit something and your toe hurts. So that was a sandal that made Keen the big thing. And they've been into the industry for the last 20 years. We've been seeing the success over time, especially in the West, and then they kind of took over to the Far Eastern side as well. So looking at the success, we thought the brand would probably do well, especially with whatever was happening with the UAE and how people are kind of getting more outdoor, walking, trekking, and all of that. So it looked like the time was right to bring this brand here, and that's what got us excited, and we brought it.
So interesting. I want to ask you about functionality over fashion a little bit, but first of all, let's just talk about weather conditions in the UAE right now.
Well, yeah.
So why do you think people in the UAE need this type of footwear?
So it's just the effect of post-COVID, right? Everybody after COVID wanted to understand that, I basically understood, want to go out, do more outdoor things. So running became a big thing, and it is still. And then following that, we always felt like there was something else that's needed, with kind of education people have, just want to be outdoor, whether that's trekking, we can see what's happening at Hatta. We are also seeing a lot of events that happen outdoors. So yeah, that's one of the reasons why we felt like the brand is the right time to bring the brand here. So yeah. Pretty much.
Well, we know that Keen Footwear is very big on sustainability. Yeah. So if you can just tell us and explain to us more about sustainability and Keen Footwear as well.
So the whole part with Keen, when they produce shoes for the longest time, they've been constantly saying that we're making footwear that is PFAS free. So this is something which is called forever chemicals. Every shoe or everything that we basically wear has them. Keen's kind of move away from that, so they've been using water-based adhesives that is, doesn't do a lot of impact. When it comes to leather tanning, they used processes which basically don't waste a lot of water, recycle those water, and again, when it comes to also the newer kind of material that they're using, they've been using a lot of recycled plastic bottles in terms of, bringing it to their footwear. So yes, I think it's consciously created footwear, I would say. So they've been doing it for about 6-7 years now. So yeah.
Do consumers ask questions about where the shoes come from? And please tell us the process in terms of making a shoe that's actually sustainable. Is it easy for a brand to make that happen?
No, it's quite painstaking. I mean, the world works where we live in a world where you want to have the costs as down as possible, and of course, sourcing this product, which is it doesn't exist as much in terms of development. It's coming now. There's a lot of talk about sustainability. Everybody talks about it, but I think moving forward, we'll see a lot more products making it cheaper, easier to source. But at this point of time, yeah, I mean, just sourcing all the water bottles, creating them into fiber, putting them into the shoes, having adhesive which is water-based, it's not chemicals, because we probably live on average 80 years. These chemicals probably last thousands of years. Shoes don't decompose, so it takes over years for them. So whatever we wear, we just chuck them into in garbage, and then it just stays there for years until it decomposes back. So yeah, answering to your question, it takes a while, and yeah, for now, I think it's challenging, but I think people are getting more educated about what's happening with their clothing, what's happening with their footwear. So it's one step closer to having footwear that you could be saying that it's more conscious, it's more good for the planet. We're not just wearing something that we don't know what we're wearing.
Got you.
So are the shoes hazard proof?
like the why last
yeah, for example, short rocks, uneven surfaces and so on.
So the shoes basically I would say that for an outdoor shoe, they got enough traction, so that's basically what you need, when you're trekking. Alongside, they've got what you also need to do is protect yourself from water. As one thing that you don't want is wet feet. So that's what happens with these shoes. They're water resistant. They have drying technology, so basically you just leave it. It dries on its own very quickly. And yeah, for those off-road trekking, you have enough traction on the heel. So yes, this is kind of good.
Can we talk about this shoe? Which is the walking shoe?
So that's the walking shoe. So I mean, this is what we're trying to tell people. We have a lot of running shoes in the market. From all the brands across. Keen basically thought about just around COVID time that we need a shoe that is great for walking only, because our biomechanics are very different. When you walk and you run, while you're walking, most of the time your foot is on the ground. It has some, but when you're running, you have that few seconds that your feet, both the foot, is on the ground. So the pressures are very different. This is very unique to Keen. They have a curved technology that allows you to basically walk. Then you feel like you're kind of rolling into your next stride. So it makes your 10,000 steps feel like 5,000. So that's I would say how it is.
We need to put that to the test for sure. So there's a walking shoe specifically designed for walking, but you're right.
Yeah.
That doesn't really get enough attention, and many of us, I could tell you I'm a runner, but in fact I'm more of a walker than I'm of a runner, that's for sure.
Same. I mean, I have my watch, and I try to finish my 10,000 steps around the house or around the area and so on, but I don't finish them.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah, so I think people, they all like to walk, but they don't understand that you need specific footwear, which sounds crazy, but it is actually true that you need that kind of, because their biomechanics are so different. So So yeah.
And the next shoe here, is this the Unique?
That's unique, yes.
It is certainly unique. Talk to us about brands deciding to go functionality over fashion. And I think it makes a statement itself, right?
Oh, it does. I mean, people perceive the shoe, as really great looking to an ugly sandal. But what I would say, it's so unique. It's actually made by just cord and two soles. The cord's basically a recycled fiber. So the great thing about this footwear is that it's wide enough, so it has enough space for your toes to wiggle, but at the same time it has a smaller heel, so it has enough support in it. It has enough room. The actual sole itself, the insole is anti-odor, so you wear sandals, and if you're outdoors, you might get sweaty feet, but it doesn't stink. So that's kind of cool about this. And then at the same time, it's with the world that it is, influencers have kind of picked onto this, and they've kind of been styling it in their own ways. So I think it's the most comfortable sandal that I've worn, and I think a lot of people and a lot of consumers have come back. So this is probably Keen's best-selling shoe at the moment. So yes, it's quite cool.
Have you seen like an upward? Sorry, I just have a question on this.
Sure.
Have you seen an upward rise in expenditure? Do you think people are really interested in statement shoes, right? Because I think 10 years ago, everyone was wearing the same shoes all the time.
Yeah.
And thanks to certain brands, people now are like, I'm comfortable and I don't care. Like, do you see that that's the trend right now?
I mean, comfort's become a big deal, right? I mean, back in the day, we made wear shoes that would hurt, but we look like, hey, looks good on us, so we have to wear it. And everybody was kind of doing that. I think for last few years with, of course, this whole trend changing with sneakers and stuff, we've always seen that, people want to be more comfortable in what it is. And then again, some silhouettes have been able to express yourself more, and that's exactly how we want to be self-expressive. So I think in that sense, yeah, this kind of brings in certain style, which some people love it.
Cool.
So yeah, I think it's very unique. I mean, it stands for the name, right? It's unique, so it kind of gives you that
exactly
feel as well. So yeah.
It is. So of course, I'm sure that like creating the product must have taken a lot. So do you have I would say conversations with hikers, people who walk and so on, just to improve the shoes more?
I mean, each shoe that Keen does, it goes through vigorous tests, and of course they bring in a lot of these outdoor enthusiasts to come and test the shoes and tell them exactly what's right, what's wrong, how do you feel with them. So Unique took about the walking shoe took 3 years before it actually got into the consumer. So they're very slow, and they take their own sweet time to make sure the product is great. But coming down to also influencers and the brand goes out there, especially when it comes to some of their lines, they actually go out to environmentalists to actually then go and promote the brand. So that's one side of the branding that's done. The other is, of course, products like Unique would do collaborations with brands like End, which is a sneaker brand, Hiking Patrol. So these sort of, they bring collaborations into a place as well. But again, any product goes out into market is being, vigorously tested before it goes,
What are the challenges with introducing a brand that's clearly well loved in the States, but introducing it to a whole new market, particularly the Middle East?
I mean, the challenge, of course, to get the word out for people to know that it's finally here. If they were the fans of the brand, and if not, then Dubai is there's so much of noise around anything that you bring in, right? So and what with Keen at least is that it's such unique, so it kind of stands out on its own. So I feel like we've been a little lucky with there. Cool. And of course, the USPs are such where we feel that it would probably get momentum is when people start wearing it. I mean, word of mouth is great in Dubai, and in the city itself. So we feel, we'll probably bring it out, and the comfort that it offers, I'm quite confident that it will stick and people will love it.
I'm a walker, I'm a hiker, I'm sold.
I mean, I am a walker myself, but because I'm a walker myself and I do have my own sneakers, so I do not tend to, I would say, pay attention to the details, while walking. All I know is that I'm finishing my steps and walking, right? That's what matters to me. So if you could just give me and Casey and everyone who loves to walk insights of what difference actually is does the shoes make while walking from other shoes?
See, the main difference or the main key areas is the way it's been made. I mean, comfort is the backbone of the shoes. So we have a lot of, there's a lot of responsive cushioning here. So when it's all about education, right? You said people wear shoes, they don't think about feet. The last thing that we think about is our foot, right? Which is basically all the load bearing that's happening because we be on our feet all the time. So yeah, the footwear was made understanding cushioning to a point where it's responsive. Structure where it's like when you're talking about walking, it has that the geometry that is curved. Comfort's important. Enough space. You don't want chafing. You want to make sure there's enough room at places you need room. There's enough support, whether there's arch support, heel support. So I think in totality, it's a footwear that's made understanding the foot biomechanics. So I think in that sense, it is something that's really good for your feet, good for the planet. And yeah, it looks a bit strange, but again, that's how the brand stands for.
Can I just say, I can think about 5 people I'm going to get these for Christmas because you want to get something, gifts for people that they'll actually use that will make a difference in their lives.
Sure.
And I think this is for conscious shoppers.
Oh, for sure, absolutely.
And I'm sold. I'm absolutely sold.
Fantastic.
Where can people buy them?
So we're going online with 6th Street. So that's where we're going to be launching the brand, and then from there on, most retailers would be carrying it. We've got a store called Soul Therapy in Festival City that will be carrying it, and then again we're doing a lot of regional work as well. So yeah, you will find them on keen.ae very, very soon, and the first launch is going to be with 6th Street.
Best of luck with expanding the brand across the country and the region, I have no doubt.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having us here. And yeah, I'm glad you like the shoes.
Thank you for joining us. Guys, that brings us to the end of the show. We're back with you tomorrow morning, same time, same place. Bye-bye for me.
Bye-bye.